two kids fought and this matter was taken to their father. It turned out that the younger brother had unnecessarily disturbed the older brother. He shouted at his younger brother to leave him alone and let him study. Hearing such huge uproar, the father immediately rushed to address this. He admonished the elder brother to keep calm, yet he did not ask the younger brother to not disturb him. Have you ever felt that you did nothing wrong and yet you were blamed, although the other person was absolutely wrong? When such situations happen in family, at work, or place of study, we feel a deep sense of unfairness. Why should you feel such unfairness when you did not do anything wrong? Instead, how can the father could have saved the day by bringing order among the boys? On January 5, 2022, 6 Muslim girls were barred from entering their own college, which they have been attending for several months. The reason is they were wearing hijab. Now, the students argued that they have been wearing hijab over uniforms, even in their ID cards. Then why suddenly this is a concern? When this question was raised, it suddenly exposed many beliefs and minds of society. Soon, few other government colleges also followed and banned girl students wearing hijab from entering classes. A 19-year-old Muslim girl, Muskan, stood her ground bravely against more than 40 boys who were protesting against the wearing of hijab. Clearly shaken when overwhelmed by so many protesting boys, she stood her ground and entered the college premises as usual. Muskan then became face of all girl students who want to continue wearing hijab. She clearly made her point in media that this is not a matter of religion or communal divide. This is a simple matter of choice of women. At such a tender age, this girl has displayed maturity and unity. We have been wearing hijab as a practice of modesty since childhood, and by disturbing this practice, it's like robbing somebody of their self-esteem. And by attacking this habit of modesty and also constitutionally approving, Muskan felt that Dr. Ambedkar would have cried seeing the interpretation of Constitution was done to rob these practicing girls of their right to practice modesty. Wearing hijab would not affect anything, but by suddenly banning it, it robs the practicing women of their modesty and create an identity crisis. What would you be when you are not you? What would you choose between self-respect and education? In good faith, we need both and even a lot more. But when you make a society where you're forced to choose between modesty and education, and if you do not choose education over modesty, you're unconstitutional, unlawful, enemies of progress, resentful, unwise, superstitious, suppressing women, then failing to see the importance of these practicing women are given to hijab. When the practicing women are choosing hijab over education, why are we failing to see that it is important to them? Did we understand why they give such importance? It is important to them that not because it's a religious practice or a practice of safety. It is a practice of modesty that practicing women simply choose out of their own will. And when we do not see why practicing women find it important to follow hijab, the Constitution or court is not failing, but we are failing the Constitution. When the two fighting brothers approached the father, everybody else also jumped in this matter. Mother, neighbor, grandparents, and further complicated the matter. All it was required for peace to prevail was the father should have asked the younger brother, why did he needlessly disturb the elder brother who was studying? The answer was simple, playfulness. The father could then help each other understand how to be individuals who can have fun and study without hurting each other. Nobody else was needed, just pure peace and harmony. The courts have the responsibility to amicably settle this matter in favor of women who want to practice wearing the hijab as an act of modesty, instead of asking the peacefully protesting women to keep it down, asking them to move on since hijab is an instrument of women's oppression, or questioning, how dare you choose religion over education. Have you lost your mind? The court must first question the forces that have disrupted the previously existing harmony. This issue becomes a major concern not because women have been wearing hijab. It started because somebody wanted to disrupt and create social disorder. By addressing such forces of disorder, we create a societal change where such unruly forces cannot manifest hatred and divide ever again in a peaceful and integrated society like India. Ours is a country where Muslim women who do not practice hijab, also women who practice hijab, pious people of all religions, non-pious people of all religions, and even atheists can express, breathe, and live cooperatively with coexistence. This is Akhand Bharat, unifying India with diversity and tolerance. This is not a question of can Muslims wear hijab inside classrooms or not. Nor it is a question of does Islam requires women to wear hijab compulsorily. This is about if a woman chooses to practice modesty by wearing hijab, does she have the freedom to do so? Yes, she has, even if the constitution does not have that truth. And why would I say that? Because it's a thing of common sense, not the constitution, that when societies that preserve women's freedom have thrived and otherwise have perished, Constitution derives its laws from the basic truths of nature. Constitution, in its true spirits, make provisions to accommodate such timeless truths. Also, let interpretation of such constitution realize the choice of a woman to wear her outfit of modesty. Constitution create freedom of expression without forcing them to choose between modesty and education. After all, what will be a society where a woman cannot practice modesty as her free will? Without polluting this matter with dirty politics and religious divide, let the courts of justice interpret this as a pure matter of woman's choice to preserve her modesty, and let us help women preserve her modesty.